Greetings to the 12 tribes of Israel, scattered, dispersed, but not destroyed. I'd like to welcome you all to the Truth, a part of Awakening Remnant Coalition, Dallas. My name is Yemi'el Ben Yahuda, and I'd like to welcome you once again. We want to thank each and every one of you who have been here and have um, shared feedback and have been a part of our Bible studies for the last few years. I thank each family that has been involved with our progression and our growth. Not only not only me as a teacher, but also as one of the one of the leaders here at the Art DFW. Um, Joseph also. Oh, bring my hearing aids. That's what's I got them. Never mind. I don't know what's wrong. Um, but each and every one of you, I want to thank you for being into learning and following the teachings of the Most High Yah. And if it isn't through us, if you found a place to learn and to study and to get fit, I'm grateful if you just stumble across us on this Shabbat. Listen, my word is not the quintessential in this community. Many people have many beliefs. I want to believe that I'm walking the path that Yah wants me to walk, and that I'm teaching according to His word and according to what He gives me, and it resonates with some of you. But we can only do what we're called to do. So I thank you once again. Each and every one that gathered in the sound of my voice, I want y'all to pray for my wife and her family, my family. Niece is sick. She's real sick. She's been in the hospital for a few weeks. She's only a toddler, only an infant. She's not even 2 yet, and she's fighting for her life. And it has been a stress and a strain on my wife and me, and most of all, my brother-in-law and his significant other. And I just ask that y'all pray for our family, pray for my niece, pray that Yah will bring forth healing and hold to this child, because it's one thing to see stuff when it happens to own people and you can say certain things, but it's so hard to see a baby hooked up to monitors with tubes going down her throat, down her nose. It's just hard, and I don't wish that on nobody. So I ask that y'all pray for Kaylani, and that she gets stronger, and that she heals and recovers fully from this. The doctors really don't know what's going on. So, we see stuff like that. We just have to be mindful and prayerful and, seek Yah in all things. Okay. I got way ahead of y'all last week. I watched parts of it, and I was ahead last week. And the reason why I was way ahead, because I hadn't talked so long, I was excited to just meet you. And so I jumped out there like I was running the 100, and actually we were running, a marathon on this thing. So I apologize for that. And so I'm going to go into this teaching. We're in Nehemiah chapter. We may go into some of chapter 3 today. This is very important, because regardless of where we're at in this world, and we get to see our people when we look in scripture a lot of times in the eyesight or in the view of a slave. And contrary to popular belief, as free as we think we are, we not really free. We still slaves in this land. Nobody's getting paid what they feel like they deserve, except not even the billionaires that own the company. They want more and give less. So, we got to understand that, looking at things through the eyes of Nehemiah, and today we're going to see the toll that all of this is taking on him. Initially, y'all got to understand, when you love your people and you love the Most High, you want to do everything in your power to make sure that not only that they're growing, but that you're pleasing the Most High. And when you're trapped in that situation, it's a toll on you. And even as a leader and a teacher, a lot of times that energy from the people take a toll on you. And so you're forced into showing things out that you would not show. That's why the times when you talk to Joseph and the people in this in our fellowship, you will see that a lot of them don't like dealing with me because I'm way standoffish, and it's not because I'm a mean person. It's because I'm taking in all this study, all this preparation, all the things that I want to do for y'all, and it weighs on me. And so we're looking at Nehemiah in the beginning of the second chapter, and some of the things that he's going through, and it's written all over his face, and he's at the point to where now he's going to confront a problem. And either way that it goes, he knows that he's going to have to stand on something. And so one of y'all got to Joseph. When we're in that situation, it's good to be prayerful and mindful of the situation at hand and try to do those things that the Most High has declared for you to do, that's on your path, that's on your spiritual walk, on your physical walk, on your walk with Him. So as we get ready to go into the second chapter of Nehemiah, I want you to understand something. Don't forget the names. The names are important because the names trace lineage. It's very important to Israel that we stop forgetting about these people's names. I notice now one of these campaigns in our community is when someone is killed, it's hashtag or it's say their name. And I think this is the way that we've learned from the scripture that people's names need to be remembered because it gives you lineage, it gives you title, it gives you, it sets the fact that you are an heir to something, or it gives you history of something that you can grasp onto. And with these patriarchs in these bloodlines, it's showing the connection. Even though we have not been in the land, it's showing the connection back to the land. Also, before we go into this, I want y'all to start paying attention to a lot of stuff that social media, and you won't see it so much in the news. But we are starting to see a rebellion against Ashkenazi. And I mean an all-out rebellion against Ashkenazi. People are starting to wake up and are starting to see that that these folks aren't who they claim they are. They're starting to see that these folks things that we have been teaching for years that we were out of the building for, they're starting to see that, hey, maybe those folks weren't lying. You know, things are coming out of Persia, what we would call Iraq, showing that the true Jews were blacks. Um, Things are coming out on social media where people that the Ashkenazim are the people of the book. And I want to say something about it because I think it's beautiful. I think it's a beautiful thing to see the truth unfold right in front of your eyes. That people are starting to realize that, hey, these folks ain't who they claim to be. That they are Khazarians and that they are European. And I even saw some things, and these aren't black folks talking. This is the part that's tripping me out the most. These ain't black folks talking. These are white folks. White folks up there talking about why they won't take DNA tests. Why are DNA tests forbidden in Israel? Because it's gonna lead right back to y'all cousins. That these folks are the same folks you are. That there ain't nothing special about them. Just like I saw this black dude do this interview with one of them and talking about why y'all wear the star mullets around y'all's chest. Is it so that y'all can have a sign that says, "Hey, look, I'm this," just like just like just like transgender men wear makeup and wigs and eyeliner, and so they can say, "Look, I'm a woman." No, you ain't. We know you got a prostate. Just like we know that y'all European. We know that you are because you burning up. Your skin don't lie. Y'all jokers is getting sunburnt every day. And another thing, since we on that topic, and then we'll go into the lesson. We'll let Joseph talk, then we'll go into the lesson. Isn't it funny? I stumbled across this too. You getting rid of all of the Latinos. Y'all putting them out the country. Kicking them folks out. And some of these white folks down in the South honestly believe that we was gonna go to them and ask for work. I'm sorry, bruh. I'm sorry. Go get your own people.
Yeah.
What my daddy said, don't bite out more than you can chew. Don't plant so much if you can plant what you can pick. Cause we ain't volunteering and we dang sure ain't coming for what you're paying us. And I honestly believe we at the point in our walks in life that if you offered us $1 million, you wouldn't see a lot of us out in the field. Just not doing it.
No.
You better go get Juan and you better go get Juan and Marguerite and Lupe and all them folks back because we had our turn and we didn't like it. Or you can just pick yourself up by your own bootstraps and get on up there and go pick. So, Shabbat Shalom, Marquis.
Shabbat shalom, my brother.
How's everything been with you?
All is well. All is well.
Good. That's good to hear. Um, we're getting ready to go into this second chapter of Nehemiah. I know there's going to be a whole lot of names. Forgive me in advance, but we got to do it. So go ahead and give them your introduction, and I'll be right back.
Shabbat shalom, family. This is Yosef Ben Yisrael of the RDFW here again on this Holy Shabbat, and we are excited and delighted to be here with you on this Holy Shabbat, the day that the Father set and sanctified from creation as a day of rest. After he had 6 days created heaven and earth, On that seventh day, he rested, and he made that day holy. He set it apart. And we, being the sons and daughters of the Most High, Yah, we want to be like him. We want to do what he did. And we want to set this day aside, as it is also is repeated and reaffirmed in the in Torah about how this day is holy, and that we should remember this day, and we should observe this day as a holy day, as a day of rest, as a day of reflection, as a day of rejoicing, and as a day that did I say rest? A day of rest. Yeah, it's a day of rest, and so we're here today with you.
You did say rest.
Okay, good. Y'all, I'm getting up there. I'm starting to repeat my stories, repeat myself, forget what I said. So y'all bear with the elder now. Yeah, but we're here. We're glad to be here. We're excited and delighted to be here, and we give thanks to the Most High Yah. All glory be to Him and to His Son Yeshua Hamashiach, to the Ruach Hakodesh, the one who indwells us, who fills us and has sealed us into the day of redemption, who brings to our remembrance the things we've learned. And we hope that those of you who are with us, and we thank Yah for you, for all of you who are listening or who will listen at any time in the future to any portion of this message. We pray that you will be blessed by the reading and the instruction and teaching of this word. And we're excited we're excited to be able to hear once again from our moray, our teacher, uh, Yemi'el, and we are here. Did I pronounce that right? Is that the way you pronounce it?
Of course.
I want
Of
to make
course.
sure. I want to make sure. Excited
Yeah,
to hear
because
from him.
Stefan here and he picked up on everything.
He picked.
Because Stefan on here and he picked up on everything.
Okay. And so, Shabbat Shalom, Brother Stefan. And so we're here. Um, glad to be here with you, fellowshipping on this Holy Shabbat. And so we're gonna give it back to our Moreh Yemi, and he's going to however he wants to do. You want me to read, or what do you how do you want to start out?
Yeah, go ahead and start reading.
I need you and Stefan to behave.
I can't help it. You know how he is. Get me going.
Nehemiah chapter 2.
You know how it is when we both get together. Big brother and little brother just going off. The middle child and the youngest carried up everything.
Yeah.
Oh Lord. Oh wow.
All right, Nehemiah chapter
Whew,
2.
okay.
Praise Yah for good friends, for the brotherhood, for the camaraderie. Thank him for that. Nehemiah chapter 2. And it came to pass in the month of Nisan, in the 20th year of Artaxerxes the king, that wine was brought before him. And I took up the wine, and I gave it unto the king. Now I had not been before time sad in his presence. Wherefore the king said unto me, Why is thy countenance sad, seeing thou art not sick? This is nothing else but sorrow of heart. Then I was very sore afraid, and said unto the king, Let the king live forever. Why should not my countenance be sad, when the city, the place of my father's sepulchres, lieth waste, and the gates thereof are consumed with fire? Then the king said unto me, For what dost thou
Can
make
we
for
for what does thou make? Go ahead.
for what dost thou make request? So I prayed to the Elohim of heaven, and I said unto the king, if it please the king, and if thy servant have found favor in thy sight, that thou wouldest send me unto Judah, unto the city of my father's sepulchres, that I may build it. And the king said unto me, the queen also sitting by him, for how long shall thy journey be? And when shall thou and when wilt thou return? So it pleased the king to send me, and I set him a time. Moreover, I said unto the king,
Okay,
if it okay,
hold on for a second.
okay.
I want y'all to understand what is going on in this scenario. If you look back at chapter 1, it's the prelude to all of this.
Mm-hmm.
Nehemiah is very heartbroken at this time because they have been captives for years, for decades. And he's grieving in his heart because he knows the city is downtrodden. Now, I want y'all to understand every Israelite is not in Babylon. All of us aren't there. There are some that are still in the land. What we call them pockets, a remnant that wasn't snatched and grabbed up in the beginning, that fled and got away. There's some of us that are still in the land, but the majority of the youngsters that were
Uh-huh.
taken have gotten older. They've gotten grown, and they're advancing in age, and it's grieving them not to be home. I don't care where you go in the world. At some point in time, you're going to miss home.
Yeah.
I haven't been to Shreveport in years. And last week, when I was down there at the family reunion, at my wife's family reunion down there, down in the southern part of Texas, I started missing home. I ain't got no family there. My mother's gone, my father's gone. I mean, my son's there, but Eric, he can come here, but I started to miss home, or what I
Mm-hmm.
call home, or where I was raised up. And so Nehemiah is torn because he's loyal to the king, and you can hear that in his voice.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and and he's also loyal to being a Hebrew to his people. You hear this in his response. Why shouldn't I grieve? Why shouldn't I be sick? Why shouldn't I be sick
Yeah.
when the land of my father's sepulchres, or where my father's buried, is downtrodden? Y'all ought to understand that was a very brave thing that Nehemiah did, and he was scared to do it because the king could have took his head right there. You see, if you go back to if you go back to Genesis, cupbearers don't man, cupbearers got a rough job. Cupbearers got to taste to see if you're poison. If there's poison in the wine,
Mm-hmm.
cupbearers got to listen to you. Got to listen to you gripe. If they don't move fast enough, them jokers could be wiped out in a second.
Yeah.
They also got to be a confidant. They're privy to information that most slaves aren't privy to, because they're, for the most part, excuse me, always around the king,
Mm-hmm.
in earshot of what's going on. And then they got all this information and they can't tell nobody.
Can't tell
Because
nobody.
if it's leaked, so when Nehemiah starts to explain himself to the king, I honestly believe that Nehemiah was surprised with the king's response in this. So I need y'all to understand and understand the situation. And now, even now, we are standing in front. We are cupbearers to these white folks, and I hate to say it like this, but we are. We they guinea pigs for their medicines. We've been the ones that supply their food. Most of us still, a lot of us still working in industries where we do service for them. Even our millionaires, for the most part, are in service industries.
Mm-hmm.
They render some kind of service. Our entertainers, like our Beyonces and Jay Z's and all these people that think that they've made it, but they still at the beg and call of our oppressor. This is important to know, and so Nehemiah's a little bit afraid to respond, but he does bravely. Go ahead. You got anything you want to add?
I do. The last
Okay.
verse in the last verse in chapter 1, I just want to repeat that. I don't want you to go back there, but the last verse in chapter 1 says that, and I was the king's cupbearer. And this was a servant or a slave position, but it was a very it was a high position, because again, as Yemi'el is saying, this Nehemiah had access to the king. I need y'all to bear with me here for just a second. He had access to the king. Okay, he had the king's ear, because the king took delight in, or maybe even perhaps loved Nehemiah, because Nehemiah was a good servant. But even
Yes.
in being a servant, Nehemiah knew who he was. He knew
Never
where he was
forgot.
from. He never lost sight of who he was. He never lost sight of his homeland. And y'all catch this. He was a leader of his people, who he was a man of Yah, because he talked to Yah. He made supplication to Yah on behalf of his people. He was also well respected of the people that had access to go back home, because the brother came and told him he
Yes.
asked him about the conditions of what was going on back home, and he got some intel on how things were going back in Jerusalem, and he became sad, tore up about his people. But y'all catch this. Nehemiah was also he was a politician. Y'all catch this now. The politics is about
Yes.
rights and resources. And so the job of a politician is to secure rights and resources for his constituency, for his people. I'm gonna go so far as to say that Nehemiah was, black folk, he was boule. And all boule means, we put a negative connotation on boule, but boule means advisor to the king. And what this man in his exalted position, I need our people to catch this. In his exalted position, he had the access to and the ear of the king. He used that access, and he used that opportunity to uh, secure the well-being. He was securing the well-being of his people. And I guess we can go ahead and
Yes.
call that a Nehemiah spirit. That we need brothers and sisters. We need some Negroes in politics who have access to the president, who have access to the governor, who have access to the mayor, who have access to the powers that be, to secure rights and resources for our people.
to be able to speak on our behalf when our voices are quiet.
Right. Nehemiah wasn't trying to, he said, he wasn't, I represent all the people. No, no, no. He wasn't telling that lie. He said, listen, my people are in trouble. My people are in trouble. Not DEI, not people of color. Not no. He said, my people are in trouble. Their cities are torn down. The borders are torn down. And the gates of the city are torn down and on fire. My people. So that takes courage. That takes courage to go before before the president, before the governor, before the mayor. Say, listen, Mr. Mayor, listen, Mr. Governor, listen, Mr. President. My people are in trouble. This man was a man of Yah, but he was also he was a statesman. He was a politician. He was a leader of men. He was one who secured rights and resources, who endeavored to secure rights and resources for his people. Okay, Yemi, that's my shot on that part.
And how easily we forget as a people that throughout our time, there has always, Yah has always placed somebody in a position to speak for us. Sometimes it didn't come out the way we thought it would.
Yeah.
Sometimes the people folded. But there's always been a voice in the room with them that wasn't us. Shabbat Shalom. Go ahead and you can go ahead.
Okay. Verse 7. Moreover, I said unto the king, if it please the king, let letters be given me to the governors beyond the river, that they may convey me over till I come into Judah. And a letter unto Asaph, the keeper of the king's forest, that he may give me timber to make beams for the gates of the palace which appertain to the house, and for the wall of the city, and for the house that I shall enter into. And the king granted me according to the good hand of my God upon me. Then I came to the governors beyond the river and gave them the king's letters. Now the king had sent captains of the army and horsemen with me. When Sanballat the Horonite and Tobiah the servant, the Ammonite, heard of it, it grieved them exceedingly that there was come a man to seek the welfare of the children of Israel. So I came to Jerusalem and was there 3 days.
Okay.
Okay.
Hold on. Got to say this. Got to say this. When you are in the perfect position, when you are where you need to be in Yah, not you remember when I used to tell you that you don't have to make your way, that Yah will make the way for you. You will
Yeah.
be able to walk in a room with the lights off and not hit a piece of furniture. You'll be able to walk through that room as if the lights are on because he's guiding everything. So not only was he granted, now listen, he could have asked on his own, but he went before the Most High in prayer first. And then he asked the king for what he wanted. The king gave him letters, not only but for supplies.
Mm-hmm.
He gave letters to those letting them know that I'm letting these, but I'm gonna send my army. I'm gonna send my foot soldiers and my cavalry.
Mm-hmm.
Was upset because he couldn't. His people were in front of him. And there is no concession made for you. But when you were doing those things, when you are doing those things that are pleasing to Yah, He makes concession for you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He will guide your path. You will receive things before you even know exactly what it is you need. You good, Doc?
Yeah, you're kind of in and out. I don't know if it's just me or
The whole time. April been telling me that the whole time.
okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. I'm gonna verse 12. And I arose in the night, I and some few men with me. Neither told I any man what my Elohim had put in my heart to do at Jerusalem. Neither was there any beast with me, save the beast that I rode upon. And I went out by night by the gate of the valley, even before the dragon well, and to the dung port, and viewed the walls of Jerusalem, which were broken down, and the gates thereof were consumed with fire. Then I went on to the gate of the fountain, and to the king's pool, but there was no place for the beast that was under me to pass. Then I went up in the night by the brook, and viewed the wall, and turned back, and entered by the gate of the valley, and so returned. And the rulers knew not whither I went or what I did. Neither had I as yet told it to the Jews, nor to the priests, nor to the nobles, nor to the rulers, nor to the rest that did the work. Then I said unto them, Ye see the distress that we are in, how Jerusalem lieth waste, and the gates thereof are burned with fire. Come, let us build up the walls of Jerusalem, that we be no more a reproach. Then I told them of the hand of my Elohim, which was good upon me, as also the king's words that he has spoken unto me. And they said, Let us rise up and build. So they strengthened their hands for this good work. But when Sanballat and the Horonite, and Tobiah the servant, the Ammonite, and Geshem the Arabian heard it, they laughed us to scorn and despised us, and said, What is this thing that you do? Will you rebel against the king? Then answered I them and said unto them, The Elohim of heaven, he will prosper us. Therefore we his servants will arise and build. But ye have no portion, nor right, nor memorial in Jerusalem. That's the end of chapter 2.
Hallelujah. So this man, Nehemiah had a sound better now because I did some adjusting. Y'all got to understand when the Persian when Babylonians came in, they tore Jerusalem up from the floor up.
Yeah.
They burnt the walls, they burnt the gates, they messed up the temple somewhat,
Mm-hmm.
They stole the audio's cutting out. Hold on, I gotta go out. Okay, tell me, is that better?
So far, so good. Back out.
He had to have a purpose and a plan to start rebuilding on this wall due to
Mm-hmm.
the fact that there was going to be opposition.
Mm-hmm.
And even though there was opposition, he stayed on his course.
Yeah.
Okay. So when we look at the situation, we understand now that Nehemiah is now pressed to start, and he's willing to do whatever it takes to make sure what he set out to do is accomplished, is to be. And so regardless of what it is that you hear or what you see, we not only had to break down strongholds to release ourselves from this captive mindset, but now once we realize who we are, now we got to build up walls to protect ourselves, to stay on that path, to stay guarded. And when I say build walls, I mean stay prayed up, stay in your word through this walk, because it's not easy. People are going to talk bad about you. You're in a culture.
Mm-hmm.
This is evil work. Even though you are trying to do what it is that the Most High tells you to do. Yesterday, my daughter said I was an extremist again. And I'm wondering, when you hear this from your children, Daddy, I know that you love, this is her. Daddy, I know you love God, but you just do things to the extreme. And I'm asking her, if he told you what to do and you're doing it, how's that being extreme?
Mm-hmm.
Regardless of what it is that you are going through, and you can see this with Nehemiah, we have that we were slaves, and that too, that we priests to the nations, not just to us, but to all nations. We're supposed to be an example to all nations, so that everybody can have a chance. Look, Moses didn't go into the Pharaoh, in front of the Pharaoh, with an attitude. He knew what the people had been through.
Yeah.
He did his job. He did what he was told. He didn't say, when after they were leaving out, after left with a mixed multitude. He took those that we're forgetting that we're going to need help, that there's other people that believe the same thing. They're keeping the commandments, and they believe in Yeshua HaMashiach, and they believe the law statutes, and they're going to have a place too. And you're supposed to be the example that they look to.
Yeah.
That's why, I honestly feel like, and Joseph can say nothing white. I ain't like white toast. I ain't like white milk. I ain't like nothing white. How can you be so evil that you keep this from us? But I was still resentful. But it was, after I've been sick and I'm starting to see stuff for what it's worth, we're supposed to be a priesthood. And priests are sent out to talk to nations, not only to our people, but to the nations.
Mm-hmm.
And if that's the case, there's room for everybody. They may not have the inheritance, but they need to be saved from this. And I know a lot of Hebrew Israelites are going to get mad at me, and I don't care. Have to be the light. And this wall is let's block out all the lies that we've been told. There is a path to salvation.
Yeah.
There's a path to redemption. And it ain't what you've been told. You've been told half truths. But let us tell you the truth without dogma and religion.
Yeah.
Let's let us show you what the book says, because our ancestors wrote it and it's encoded in our DNA. We are the tribe of Yahudah. We are the tribe that was scattered throughout the book. We are the descendants of Abraham, not those folks that are, but are the synagogue of Satan. Of the walls is the when I tell you, I don't want to preach this thing. I want to try to teach this thing, but I get preachy because that's what I am. And but I want to tell y'all that when you start building up this wall is your faith.
Yeah.
This wall is your faith, y'all. This wall is our faith. But and that he is our kinsman redeemer. Hypocrisy of the church that we're seeing take place right now. The very people that introduced us to this Western style of Christianity, who said that we should love our brother but expel people out of a country. you know, that walk around and say hateful things It called people out of their names and treat them like they second class citizens. When the
Mm.
Bible tells you that you should take care of that Moab received, because now Moab. Am I laughing because, am I tickled because some of these folks voted against their opinion?
Huh.
But the truth of the matter is, it's still hurtful
Yeah.
to see these people that were looking for refuge, for looking for asylum, to be put out. The word of the If those people that were in Congress and those other people truly were who they said they are, if they truly loved the Most High and they truly loved Yeshua HaMashiach, there was no way they would be able to close the gates to them people. To prepare ourselves for wall building this time, because you're going to be tested and you're plate. You're going to need the helmet to protect you and to keep you safe. You are going to need those things in this time.
Mhm.
I'm telling you this because the enemy is running rampant right now. Knows
Mhm.
his time is short on this earth. He knows that his exposed, that even if we have to become martyrs for this truth, that understand that this might lead us to a physical death. But we got to be willing enough to stand on those words that were
Mhm.
told to us. We have to be strong enough to continue to build these walls before man, showing that we believe in the Most High, that we believe in the word as it's written, and not in doctrine that was man made and man taught. And I'm willing to die for mine because I know that there's life eternal, even if I do. You got anything out?
I wanted to say that just an observation of the last portion of this chapter, that what I love about Nehemiah is that he received word about the damage that was done, but he as a leader he refused to take someone else's word for it, so he went and assessed the damage himself. He didn't take his entourage. He didn't take the Secret Service. He had a security detail with him. He left them behind. He was so in love with his people, and he had such an affection for his homeland He went at night, so when nobody, hey, that's Nehemiah. No, he didn't want no attention. He didn't want no press. He didn't want no paparazzi. He didn't want no likes. He didn't want no shares. He went by night, surveyed the damage himself. And that is a portrait of a leader that loves his people, loves his homeland, and loves Yah. Because Jerusalem is the city of Yah. This man's heart, this man's heart, and I'm seeing this now. I hope all of us as leaders are seeing this. The love for his people gave him compassion to want. I want to see this for myself. I want to go and I want to view this. I want to survey the damage. I want to assess the damage. I want to see it with my own eyes. So I can so that I as a leader can formulate a vision or a strategy of how we move forward.
Yes.
All of us, especially us in leadership. And if you and listen, if you're a father, this is for you. It's not just for Yemi, and not just for elders yourself. If you're a father, if you're a husband, if you're a single mother, if you're whatever position of leadership or authority that you're in, this book, this Yemi, you did a great job. This book will teach us how to lead, how to first of all how to love and how to lead Yah's people.
Selfless dedication to
Mm-hmm.
Yah's plan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The beautiful thing about Nehemiah was his intentions were selfless. The 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 condition of the people superseded his own,
Mm-hmm.
and his obedience and his love for Yah was just that. Was the place where Yah on the earth was important to this man. Like Yosef said, hands, he exists here now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so you got to circumcise your heart. You got to tear away those things. And you got to build it up by putting word in here
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and understanding your position in this thing. Because if you don't, my daddy said, if you don't, you won't, you never will.
Hmm.
You got to stand on the side of what's right, and that's this word.
Yeah.
For the day, if you are,
Yeah, that's it for me.
y'all, as we get ready to understand, you got to put the knee that when it comes to y'all's work, and we all have a purpose in this thing. We're all not lay people. We all are priests. If I may teach many, but I'm a priest in my home. And many of you men that are watching, you're a priest in your home. Ladies, you're a priest to your children. You're a confidant to your husband. We got to be able to strengthen each other just like that wall. We got to be able time, and I never thought I'd be. I see it with my eyes. I don't know, but I do know this: it ain't as far off as it was when I first got here. So, y'all read chapter 3, chapter 4, read chapter 3 and 4 this week. Like I told you, read into Ezra. I fell asleep listening to Ezra last night. We may, if y'all says the same after we finish these 13 chapters, willing to stand on y'all's word because in the end, that's all we got.
Yeah.
In turmoil right now, and it wasn't like this 6 months ago. It wasn't. Well, let me take that back. It wasn't like this time last year. How quick things can change,
Yeah.
and you got to be ready. Y'all, I've never done this, but if you haven't, if you believe that to study this, started Genesis, take your time and study that book, and because that's your foundation for everything else to come.
Hmm.
And ask y'all to take away your sins and to forgive you of your trespasses and take the Messiah into your heart and accept him so that you'll have an opportunity for salvation. We are at a time where we don't know when somebody's going to push the button. And y'all, if you live in the DFW area, let me tell you, the Hellfire, I forgot what it's called, but it's something like the Hellfire nuclear bomb that they got, that the Russians got. If if it struck DFW, Steph on the other side of terror. I told April we done moved too close.
Yeah.
Y'all understand this. And I love y'all and keep us in your prayers, keep my family in your prayers, and I will keep you in mind. As we get ready to close, just bow your head. Abba Father, we thank you for another Shabbat. We thank you for your blessings. We thank you for your word made flesh. We thank you for the Ruach HaKodesh. We thank you for the lessons, and we ask that you would open it and that we be able to apply it to our lives, that we will be able to make you proud. Only filthy rags in your sight, but to let you know that so that Father, and we want to be better. And I ask that you would just bless baby KK, just bring forth healing in her body,
Yes.
and bring her out of this tough time, bring her out of this struggle, bring her out of this conundrum of pain and things that are going wrong with this child. And I ask that you give my wife traveling grace as she goes to check on this baby. Let her be strength to her brother and to her sister-in-law, and a blessing to her father. Going right at the house, she's gonna have to leave. And so, husband, baby, you gotta do what you gotta do. Go on and go take care of your family.
Yeah.
She's got a big responsibility. Since her mama passed, she the surrogate mama. So, y'all pray for my wife as she makes that journey down this highway, and that she make it back home to me safe. Cause I need her too.
Yeah.
So y'all, I need her. So until next Shabbat, y'all keep us in your prayers. We'll be praying for you. I may come on sometime this week. I'm gonna talk to Yosef about